gave away, $500,000. Let me pat myself on the back here.
You never call me. You hate people.
You just love finding people to not like.
I hate people individually, but I love mankind.
Oh, you do.
Okay, so yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. I mean, all these people.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But we just said before the segment that you don't like hanging out with people either.
Well, that doesn't mean I think they're bad.
We don't know each other that well. You've said 30 insane things to me in the last few minutes.
I'm not an everyman.
No, you're not an everyman.
I'm not an everyman.
You are a singular man.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight. He ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it.
Gabe, do you think I'm smart?
Making plans, we sit and count. Our chairs stacked just like a mountain.
What was that?
She running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide
I cannot hear you.
it. She's too excited.
What topic are we talking about?
Oh, there we go. I guess just generally smart. Like everyday sort of things.
Well, you're quizzing me right after I saw you do something really dumb. Like if you're sitting down to take the ACT, yeah, my money's on you. Doing everyday life stuff, I've got some questions suddenly.
What do you mean?
So, Chew, Jen has this tea over here, and I don't know what supplement she decides that she's putting in there. I'm just getting the TVs, getting the studio all situated. All of a sudden, I just hear her start shaking, and she yells, "Hot!" and starts doing it again, yells, "Hot!" Instead of just, stirring in something, she threw on the cover, which obviously has a hole in it because you need to drink out of it. She covered the hole with her thumb and then just started shaking it to mix it in.
Okay, hold on. Would you rather be book smart or street smart? I would take street smart every day of the week and twice on Tuesday.
I would also take street smart because it comes in handy more often. Like, you're not taking the ACT, as I did a few months ago, regularly. But you are interacting with human beings and problem solving and, navigating situations every day, all the time. Now, this one was not one of my finer moments. So I will admit that. So again,
she did it once and you're like, okay, that's hot. Maybe I shouldn't do it. And she's like, nope, got to keep going.
I've got one of these cups, Chew, these paper cups or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
I can see. Yeah.
Okay, and I put my finger over the hole where you drink.
Yeah.
And then there's another one for the air. So I put my other thumb over that one. And I just started shaking it. But the tea...
Yeah, turns out...
came through the holes and burned my thumbs.
Okay, so what's the perfect percentage? Because I'm top heavy when it comes to street smarts. I'm probably 90-10. Gabe, you're probably close to 60-40, Gabe.
I'll take 60-40.
Joshy's a fine balance of 50-50. Jen, I have no idea where you're at.
Well,
I mean, I could have studied for 19 days for the SAT, and I ain't getting a 28. So my guess is you might be a little top heavy too.
Top heavy.
I mean,
top
but
heavy.
the other
book
way.
smart.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. I'm pretty street smart also. So that's the thing. I'm like 90-90. That's what I am.
Yeah, okay.
180 intelligence.
170%. Way to go.
That's my IQ. There it is.
And we can't ignore the fact there that Chewy just added 90 plus 90 and came with 170.
Yeah, again, he said he's...
There you go. There's
he's
my
top
90.
heavy. I was about to say,
Yeah.
he's top heavy.
To illuminate further.
We knew he was top heavy. We can just move on. He already admitted to being top heavy.
In that instance, I think I obviously misjudged the temperature of the tea. I thought by now, after it's sitting out this morning during our production meeting, right? Because I poured this at, about 40 minutes ago at this point. I thought that it would have cooled much more than it has by now. That was not the case. So Gabe then is like, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to mix in my supplement. And he said, how about a stir?
So hold on. Why tea? Why tea? Because tea to me is bougie.
Really?
Put it on the poll. Is tea bougie?
It is bougie.
Maybe it's because I was in the UK for a week last week, and that's all they'll give you is tea. No, they'll give you coffee, but they offer tea.
I feel like you've been on at least drinking tea during the show, just because You've been going through the nose thing, the ENT stuff. You've gone out to Advent to get that taken care of. You've lost your voice a couple of times, so the tea's good for the voice.
That's right, yes. And we are getting closer, as you can hear, to me not being, the nanny anymore, Fran Drescher, or whatever variation you want to talk about. Because when I had that nose procedure done, it was like, welcome to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can I take your order? Like, it was real bad. But now it's getting better. It feels like it's getting closer to what I imagine my voice is. That's the other thing, Chew. You don't really know what your voice sounds like unless you listen to yourself, like on a show or on a voicemail or something like that. Your voice doesn't sound in your head the way your voice sounds to other people. That was a wild thing to learn when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's like your breath.
How is it like your breath? Please
again?
Expound.
You can't smell if you have bad breath. You have no idea. Someone has to tell you. Just
No,
like
you
you
do the
don't know
little-
what you're. No, just like it. No, that
the
doesn't
little-
work, Gabe. It doesn't work.
You do the
It
little-
doesn't.
yeah.
No, it's just like your voice. You have no idea what your voice sounds like until you hear it back on the radio or something. I like my voice. Gabe, people love your voice.
Yeah, I don't know. I like my voice. The thing is, I think you just have to like your voice. There's nothing you can do about it. It just is what it is.
What are you gonna change your voice?
What if you cut your uvula off?
Why would you do that?
Seems painful.
Change your voice.
That would not change your voice. There's no way.
You don't think
I don't think the uvula is for your voice. I think it has a more
what does it do?
important job than that.
What's the important job since you're the book smart one?
I'm going to Google it right now. Yeah, I want to have this conversation very quickly as we were talking about book smart and street smart. And obviously, I saw yesterday that Apple is putting out a new AI iPhone. Feels like a little too many I's there, but I digress. The AI iPhone. And I was sitting with Chase yesterday. Chase is our 15-year-old, almost 16, crazy. And I said to him, how do you feel about AI? Just trying to start conversation with the 15-year-old. And he says, it's good. I think there are good things about it, but it's also a little intimidating. I said, I got to be honest. It's making us dumber as a society, right?
Yeah.
Because we no longer wait to excavate information from our brains. Like things that we know are in there. You give yourself what? Joshy, how long do you give yourself to find information that you know is in your brain, you just can't recall very quickly?
No more than 7 seconds.
And then what?
I Google it.
You Google it, yeah. I think that 7 seconds is probably very short. I was going to say, like,
statistically, you won't recall something if you don't in the first 10 seconds.
That's
What?
Just
no,
Not with my brain.
On the
Yeah,
average, look it up.
Josh, you and
Look it
I
up.
spent time in my car driving around for a half hour before I found the house finally.
You can still recall things after then, but if you don't have it almost instantly, you are likely never going to get it.
I can't imagine that that's true.
I promise you it is.
Did you Google it?
Yes.
No, because we all say when we were trying to recall it, we're like, it'll come to me. It'll come to me. And most times it eventually does.
That's what
right?
I'm thinking.
And then
Shu.
in the middle of
Most
the
times-
segment, when we moved on, you just yell out the name you were thinking of.
Yes.
Oh, French class. Sorry, that's my go-to always. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's old reference.
Isn't your concern there about making us dumber the same concern of people had when it was like, oh, the printing press. Now you can look up in encyclopedias, or now there's Google or Ask Jeeves. Isn't it just kind of the continuation?
Jeeves?
The continuation of therefore moving past recall?
Maybe, but I feel like it's getting worse. Like, I'm walking with Dario the other day, and we're having a conversation, and I said, oh, remember that thing? What was that thing? And he's like, yeah, I can't remember it. And he immediately goes to his phone. I go, give it a minute. Like, let your brain computer work for a second. It'll probably process and get you to the answer you're looking for. But he's so quick to grab his phone and have it answer the question for him. I feel like, and I could be, cuckoo la-la here about this, but I feel like that is a muscle, Gabe. You have to work. Recall is a muscle you have stomached.
What are you
Gotta
chuckling
work
about
that
over
muscle. You know what I'm chuckling.
there? You don't use it, you lose it?
Yeah, thank you very much. I was trying to recall that, and I couldn't. You didn't give me 7 seconds.
Am I wrong about that? Do you feel it similarly?
No, I think that like the fact that, and I know Chewy makes fun of Josh, but like the fact that Josh reads as much as he does is good for his brain. Like,
probably.
That is a good thing for you to do. Put the screen down, just kind of get lost in something else, consume different various, types of media. Yeah, I think you need to be using your brain more instead of just automatically relying on, I can just look this up.
The fear with AI is simply just, obviously, besides the obvious take over the world stuff, is people just stop doing stuff. Like nobody, you will no longer.
Besides the fact that AI is going to rise up and kill us all, other than that, here's what I'm concerned about.
It's the simple fact of like you'll just never learn anything. Because at least when I Google something, I will then know that answer for however long. When AI is just doing it, I just don't have that skill whatsoever because I'm not doing anything.
Jen, like you're the closest to me in age. Do you remember having to use encyclopedias?
Oh, we had the Encyclopedia Britannicas.
That we had the same
on
one.
the
Funk
shelf.
and Wagnalls. Yes.
Really? And remember when that was actually a profession? Like somebody went door to door selling those things, or Tupperware, or vacuums.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gone the way of the dodo, hasn't it? Everybody buys everything online now.
Can I ask you a question? Is it not plagiarism if you put everything in quotes?
For like a report?
Yeah.
Are we doing a thesis or a paper? No, you can't.
Yeah, I was doing my thesis.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what do you care if you quote something?
I mean, technically, it would not be plagiarism if you quote it and cite it properly.
Correct. If you cite it. But I do think that teachers, and again, I don't want to speak for all teachers, but I think they have a certain threshold of how much they want you to footnote.
If you turn in an entire paper starting with a quotation mark, ending with a quotation mark, 10 pages later, I'm guessing you're not going to get a good grade.
Is it like the definition of plagiarism is taking somebody's other stuff and passing it off as your own?
But his point is, if
that's
it's
why you put it in quotes.
You put it in quotes. You've cited it properly, whether that's APA, whatever style.
Yeah, but at least there's a chance, Gabe. There's probably, you might slip it by 10% of the time, which I'm willing to take.
A fully quoted paper? You think you're going to slip it by the teacher?
So, Chew, now...
Again, this is why he is only 10% book smart, 90% street smart.
But now, Chew, they push everything through a plagiarism software. So now every paper gets pushed through this software, and it's basically cross-referencing the work that the student is turning in versus all of the works on the interwebs. And if it pulls, and there's a percentage, again, that you're allowed to, quote-unquote, cite or, use their verbiage. And then if you pass that threshold, they will flag your paper for plagiarism and you'll fail it. Yeah, big business now.
Glad I went to school in the 80s.
Went to school is in quotation marks.
Thank you.
All right, we got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Got a lot of stuff to get to today. We do have Adam Schefter coming up. We'll talk to him about some of the cuts around the league and other news in the NFL. Sophia Minard's going to join us as well to talk about the Brew Crew, who are doing fantastic. Final month of the season here. Right? We're on the doorstep of September. Brewers still in that top spot. We'll talk to Sophia Minard. And, of course, we're going to break down the roster. Packers making their cuts yesterday. What surprised you about the guys who will be on the 2024-2025 roster, at least right now? We'll get into that after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Slowing down still just a little bit, westbound 94 from just before 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side is going to be slow from Meadowbrook Road to Highway 16 through that construction zone. Then you're back on the brakes from 84th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. We've also got westbound 894 heavy out of the Mitchell interchange all the way to about 68th Street through that construction zone. Traffic is brought to you by Two Men in a Junk Truck. Have unwanted clutter or junk? Go to twomeninajuncktruck.com for a free, no obligation estimate. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy, cooler but humid. Isolated showers possible with a high of 78. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 67. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher, and summer is here. But if you want your parking lots and asphalt to be ready for winter, you have to remember the 3 R's from Johnson & Sons Paving. Reseal every 2 to 3 years. Repair when you see signs of cracking or potholes. And replace if there's constant standing water, buckling, or sinking. Don't scare customers or tenants away because of a bad parking lot. Connect with Johnson & Sons today before minor repairs end up being huge headaches. Schedule an appointment at johnsonsonspaving.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Step into the batter's box for BetMGM's Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Pick an area of the strike zone and take your best swing. If you get a single, double, triple, or home run, you'll receive a prize. Smash a home run to collect a bonus bet on us. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-91-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary depending on market. Expire 24 hours from issuance. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
IndyCar returns to the Milwaukee Mile at Wisconsin State Fair Park this Labor Day weekend, August 30th through September 1st. The Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s weekend features NTT IndyCar Series races on both Saturday and Sunday. Don't miss the fun in the free fan zone all weekend long, including live entertainment at the Bank 5-9 Amphitheater with headliners including Ian Munsick and Quiet Riot. Get your tickets now at wistatefair.com and experience Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s weekend, August 30th through September 1st.
Are you looking for a reliable ride? I've got you covered. It's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. I use AccuTrans Group for my private transportation needs during the college football season. AccuTrans is a veteran-owned business dedicated to providing unmatched corporate, personal, and event-related transportation that you will use again and again. From corporate travel and weddings to group events, AccuTrans Group caters to every occasion. Booking is easy, safe, and dependable. Visit AccuTransGroup.com to get a quote or to book a reservation today for reliable and safe transportation.
You are listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And then you have Raj, who I didn't think he just didn't have the body type of a right tackle.
I have a question. I have a question. Who the hell are you talking about?
What's his name? Yash.
Raj?
Like, I was thinking, okay,
who's Raj? You tell us, buddy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
But I'm thinking it's time for a change. Get out of your lane. The more that you stay there, you feel like it's unfair. It's time for a change. Get out of your brain. It's life that you're wasting. You feel
What was the thing that stood out to you most about the cuts yesterday for the Green Bay Packers? For me, it was the numbers game. I'm reading the articles that Bill Huber and Jason Wilde and all of the guys put out there about the Packers cuts. And everybody kept saying, like, oh, they didn't keep 8 offensive linemen. They didn't keep 9 offensive linemen. They kept 10 offensive linemen. I was like, okay, good. Well, and then they kept 6 defensive ends. And I was like, where are they getting all these roster spots from? Gabe, what of the things that happened yesterday? Obviously, there was some big news about A.J. Dillon being put on IR, his IL. His IL is baseball?
Correct.
IR is football. And his season being over, there was the news about the quarterbacks, that both of them were cut. What stood out to you most about the cut downs yesterday for the Green Bay Packers?
I think it was the AJ. Well, actually, the biggest one I think was Anders, because I presumed that Anders had won that competition, and then it seems like, what is going on over there? Like, she can't even drink her tea now.
You need to take it away, Gabe.
Like,
Remove it. Can't handle it. We have to take it away.
It's all over her jacket.
Just spilled tea everywhere. What is happening? Okay. Continue, please. I'm sure you were making a really brilliant point.
I don't even know what I was talking about.
A.J. Dillon.
Oh, A.J. Dillon and Anders. I thought Anders had won the thing, but A.J. Dillon, it kind of feels like this is the end of the road for him, doesn't it?
Well, this is what they're going to... If he was a jerk, they would have cut him, but he's not. He's a nice guy. So what's going to happen with A.J. Dillon?
Come on. Do you really believe that, you? Do you really believe that his personality had anything to do with the fact that he is still affiliated with the team?
Yeah.
What?
Yes,
I
they
also
kind of
think-
did it with Donald Driver back in the day. There's a story there that I can't tell, but I'm just telling you that's what happened.
You're the worst kind of
And I tell you what, this is what's going to happen with A.J. Dillon. They've seen enough from him. His yards per carry were down. I think the 3 plays to get 1 yard kind of sealed the deal. What they're going to do is they put him on IR, which is essentially, we love you. Here's this year's salary. We would like you to be the next Rob Davis of the Packers.
And Rob was a player personnel guy, right?
Correct. I mean, he's perfect, right? The Meridor County, nice guy. It only makes sense to. He's not going to get better, right? And I can tell you this from experience, they are very suspect with injuries above the shoulders. So I think that's what's going to happen, and good for him, because I think it would be good for him to be around the team and help the younger guys in the transition from college to pro. So I think that's what's really going to happen.
Doesn't it feel like there's an aspect to A.J. Dillon where it's you worked your ass off, you like reshaped your body, and you just weren't good enough, so we kind of like it's like the worst kind of guy. Like, you're trying your hardest, you're just not good enough. So like it's you don't feel you feel bad about it. Like, what can we tell you?
I don't feel bad. And this is not A.J. Dillon specific. This is more of my perception of what the NFL has always claimed to stand for, which is it's a meritocracy. Either you're good enough to make the team, either you're good enough to contribute, either you're productive, or you're not. And if you're not, you're on the outside looking in. It's kind of like the conversation, Gabe, that I was having with you as we were sitting down about how all of a sudden, over the last 5 years or so, there have been more and more people on social media who are reminding us football fans that yesterday is a tough day for a lot of people in the NFL. Tough crap! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The league is tough. It's hard to make a team. And I'm not going to sit here and then start to gently discuss guys who aren't good enough to make a team. I get it. They have a family. I get it. They've worked hard for it. I get it. It has been their dream all along. But people get fired all the time. I don't see people handling those situations with kid gloves. Like, that's why I don't agree, Chew, that the Packers, a top-tier elite organization, are somehow sentimental about this guy. But I mean, you've walked around those halls, so if you're telling me something that I've just never subscribed to, I'm willing to come around on it. But I just have never seen that before. I never thought that was real.
There was only one team that wanted him. He was a free agent. There was one team, and he's not even good enough to make that team.
But that's not their problem, right?
Yeah, but they like the guy, so I'm with Chewy. I mean,
well, look at what they were going to do with Brett. Look at what they were going to do with Brett. It was essentially a $22 million bribe to not play football anymore. So they do it. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
they gave him that.
Mm-hmm. We do, but we're comparing Brett Favre to A.J. Dillon. I got to stop you right there.
No, but I mean, what are they going to pay him? $2 million this
something
year?
like that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's no big deal. They were going to have to pay him an injury settlement anyways if they were just to cut him straight out. And then A.J. Dillon's, and this is how it works, okay? Then that neck stinger thing gets much worse when you're trying to get a injury settlement, you know? Where if they kept him on the roster, he'd be like, I can play in 3 or 4 weeks. Now, his tune is going to pivot. If the Packers just cut him, he's going to say, are you kidding me? This is a 12-week injury. You got to pay me $1.5 million. That's how it works. That's how it works. But I think that's how it went down. The fact that no one else wanted him this year, he was a free agent, went everywhere, and the Packers gave him a pittance of a salary. Where's he got to go? Do you think after this neck injury, he's going to go out into free agency and all of a sudden teams are going to be like, yeah, he's done?
There's a lot that Chewy talks about, too, where it's like, a guy who does all the right things, is in the weight room doing all that stuff. I think those guys are harder to move on from than, say, a guy who doesn't put out. Like Aaron Rodgers talked about how the wide receivers weren't doing what they need to do. Like, when you're a guy like that, I think it's a lot different than, well, this guy doesn't show up. He's not working hard. It's way different when you're all the right things, including the personality stuff, and you just can't hack it.
Doesn't that make you worry a little bit, though? Like you guys are having this conversation, and again, having not walked the halls, Chew, like you have, I'm inclined to believe that you know how it shakes out in there. I got to tell you, though, as a football fan, I don't want that. I don't want sentimentality when you're creating a roster.
But it's not.
I don't want
But it's not really sentiment because he's not on the roster. Like they knew they couldn't keep him on the roster, but they want to do something else for him. So as a fan, like it doesn't affect you. It's not your money that.
Oh yeah, and it never does. I'm talking more about like from a across the board sort of standpoint. You need to be making decisions about who can get the job done, not who's nice, who people really like, who, right? And again,
I think when it comes to the 53, they are making.
But I'll give you another example, guys. I'll give you another example. Chris Gizzy, right? What's your first image of Chris Gizzy? Running out of the tunnel with the flag, right? 9/11. And what'd they do with him? Because he was a nice guy and he was a great story. They made him the O-line or the strength and conditioning coach. And he jumped over Mark Lavatt, who was an assistant when I was there. So they do that. You know, if you toe the company line, they like you, they're going to reward you and they want you around. John Kuhn, another great story. You know, John Kuhn's NFL career was what? I mean, I know he's a fullback.
He played for a long time.
I think longer than we all think.
Yeah, but he's a fullback.
Maybe his personality is.
But he's a fullback. I don't want to disparage fullbacks.
Basically, it's one click above kicker.
It seems like you're disparaging fullbacks. It seems.
I'm
like
just saying.
I'm just saying. You don't
in
want
case
to.
people didn't know what position he played, he's a fullback. Okay, and what do they do now? He's the Larry McCarron in waiting, which is great. He does a great job.
He played 12 years in the league.
What?
Yeah.
Well, not all of them were with Green Bay, obviously.
Correct. 9 with the Packers, 1 in Pittsburgh, 2 in New Orleans.
Give me his lifetime stats, or his actually Packer stats.
His Packer stats?
Give me rushing.
Way too much.
601 yards, rushing, 15 touchdowns.
How many carries?
196.
Give me an average.
3.1.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take that 10% book smart down to about a 6 right now.
Okay.
You're asking Gabe to do all the remedial math for you.
So I'm just telling you, they do that, and they should.
God, that's the
because
third
they're good ambassadors for the team.
Doo-doo on that. Every time, and every time I want to make a joke, and every time, but now you've done it 3 times, so that's like Beetlejuice. We've got Adam Schefter coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We still want to get to some of these other decisions that the Packers made yesterday about the roster. What do you think of the wide receiver room? You excited about that? What do you think of what they did with the defensive backs? Some of those guys out there who had performed really, really well during the preseason were surprise cuts yesterday. We'll get into that as the show rolls on. You've heard me talk about my garage floor and how it transformed thanks to the friends over at Showtime Floors. Their latest innovation has me even more excited. It is a sealer that gets applied, protecting your new and existing surfaces in and around your home or business. It is antimicrobial, it is UV resistant, and it is used by all the big guys you know, including right here in Milwaukee at the airport. You already know how much time I spend at the airport, so you know I'm a big fan of the floors there, right? Showtime Floors offers a 15-year warranty on their work. Bring that original color back. Go to ShowtimeFloors.com to schedule a demo today and mention ESPN for 10% off. Tell them Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy sent you.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we got a couple of issues to deal with. First of all, an accident on northbound 43 just about at Bender Road. The right lane is blocked with this, so be careful with that. That's really starting to see some delays stretching back towards Hampton. Southbound side starting to slow down from Hampton down to Capitol. Westbound 94 backing up out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound 94 heavy from before Meadowbrook Road all the way to Highway 16. And then again, back on the brakes from the zoo all the way through the stadium interchange. We've also got the right lane blocked on westbound 894 right about at Loomis. We've got a broken down vehicle there that is in traffic. So we're seeing delays, hefty ones, coming out of the Mitchell interchange towards Loomis. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly cloudy, cooler, but humid. Isolated showers are possible, a high of 78. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 67. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Fall into golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. Fall golf rates run September 16th through the end of the 2024 season, with tee time starting at $75 and stay and play packages starting at $110. And submit your 2025 golf package request early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
At GNC, we know motivation can come from anywhere. You could be at the gym, totally focused on yourself and your own goals. You refuse to be gym-intimidated. Maybe you're on a weight loss journey, a new path to change your life. Nothing's gonna stop you. Or maybe you're putting in overtime on those booty goals. No shame in getting those gains round back. You could just be out to prove that when it comes to pickleball, you are a pickle baller. No matter what motivates you, we have the fuel to keep you going. Fuel your fitness at GNC.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Wilde and Tausch.
Did you get nervous as a player, first of all, like, before matchups with Bruce Irvin or whatever it might have been?
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by American Family Insurance.
He's such a jerk, isn't he? Like, he just can't help himself. He's got perfect kids. They eat all of their vegetables and everything else. And nothing, but Jason loves to throw pot shots whenever he can. Have you noticed that about him?
Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. Untethered, unfiltered, and unbothered.
When they say thicker than a Snicker, what do you think they're talking about?
Yeah, I know that was like body type.
Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN.
But what kind of thick are we talking about?
Unplug it with your
pictures of what I thought it was just one C.
At least 3 C's, bro.
The more C's, the greater the thickness.
Weekdays from 2 to 5, right here on 94.5 ESPN. And subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. Everyone's go-to source for all NFL news.
Adam Schefter teased some big breaking news. Adam, you've told us about it. What do we got?
Adam's on the phone. Adam, you got more news? What do you got?
They're going with another move, and he was the man who knows all, Adam Schefter.
And we're going to get right to some breaking news here that just came down. This tweet from Adam Schefter.
It's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years. Let's get this deal in the books. Let's get it done the way we want, structure it. If you're Jordan Love, you're banking all that guaranteed money. You're set. You're set for life. So, again, I think both sides win.
Adam Schefter on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Wait, you guys hear me?
Presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Can you hear
Also
me?
sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
Can you hear me?
We are efforting Adam Schefter here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Just give us a few minutes to get the technology up and running. Between Chewy's stuff this week and, this happens. This type of stuff happens. I am very interested in what Adam Schefter has to say about this private equity development in the NFL. We were talking about it a little bit this morning. Chew, you're not a fan. You don't like the idea of this private equity 10%, being able to buy into NFL teams. Why?
He is, they're bullies. They're bullies. And having some experience with private equity, I'm just worried that they're going to try and get more of the pie than the 10% that they're allowed to grab right now, because they're bullies. They'll be the big guy, and hopefully they'll never get control of a franchise because they're going to push everyone else out. They have a lot of power. And a lot of, I've had experience with buyouts. For example, when a private equity goes and tries to buy a company and there's an earnout, right? They never pay on the earnout. How does that work, though? You would think, too, that there would be some language in a contract. There is, but they don't care. They use the courts, and what they do is say you sell your company for X amount of dollars and there's a $5 million buyout, right? Based upon the benchmarks you have to hit. They're never paying out on those benchmarks, okay? You can say, hey, I reached the threshold of whatever percentage. They're going to say, no, you didn't. They bring in their forensic accountant and say, no, you didn't. And then there's a fight between the person who sold the company and the private equity. And then what happens, private equity has so much money, to the little guy, they're like, I don't care. We'll take you to court. We'll bleed you dry. Go ahead and sue us. Do you want to pay $500,000 in legal fees to get $5 million? They're kind of ruthless.
We now have Adam Schefter, so let's bring him in on this conversation. Adam, good morning. How are you doing today?
Welcome back, Jen. I apologize about the technical difficulties. My connection is not working with video today, so again, we're just calling in today instead. Apologies.
As they say in Ireland, no worries. Let's get to this private equity thing, because we were just talking about this new, I guess the NFL has decided. I think I saw nearly unanimous by the owners. I believe there was only one person who voted against it. How does this change the NFL, if at all, from a fan perspective?
Well, I don't think from a fan perspective much is going to change. I think the idea here is that this has been going on in other sports, and it's another revenue stream for NFL teams, so that if a team is valued at $5 billion with the prices of these franchises skyrocketing, and a team needs some cash, which some teams have needed that in the past to build a training facility, to build a stadium, whatever it may be, they can sell up to 10% of their franchise to vetted, approved private equity firms who have been dying to get into business to do this anyway. So it now creates another revenue stream for NFL owners at a time when franchise values are skyrocketing. And the other thing that it does also, I think, is when you see the Commanders go for $6.05 billion or whatever the price was, I'm pretty close to it, you start to price out some buyers. Like, there's not a lot of people in this world who could go afford $6 billion today. And by the way, maybe more in the future. It's going to be more in the future. So now if you bring in private equity firms to absorb 10% of the cost, it makes it a little bit more manageable. It makes it feel a little bit more doable.
My concern, Adam, is they're going to want more. It's going to start at 10%. And once private equity gets control of an organization, I don't think that's a good thing, because then they're controlling the firing of everyone, firing of coaches. I think as long as they stay at 10%, which they're not going to try to do, they're going to try to get to 51%, it's fine. But once they cross that threshold and become the majority owner of the I think we're going to have problems. I really do, and I don't.
Well, but Chewy, what I would say to that is this: it took a long time for the NFL to get to 10% equity involvement. A long time, and if it ever gets to 51%, I cannot see that being anytime soon. I just cannot see that. Like, that's years away from happening.
Well, to
Years.
Chewy's point, though, Adam, and it's not 51, I just want to be clear on this, but according to the ESPN.com article on this very topic, the NFL is the last of the major sports leagues in the United States to allow private equity funding. The NBA, the NHL, the MLB, MLS, and NWSL all allow for up to 30% of a franchise to be owned by these private equity companies. That's a little bit closer to the 51.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so 30% in the other sports. The NFL, I think, because it's the last one, is going to try it and see how it works. And then the league would have the option, if it so chooses, to be able to raise the stake of private equity involvement to up to 30%. Now, we're just coming up with that number because that's the number in other leagues. There must be a reason that they came up to that number. I don't know it particularly. I'd have to ask people in this area why it is 30%. And yeah, would I be surprised if eventually the NFL got there? Probably not. Like, again, there were people who thought that private equity wouldn't find its way into the National Football League, and it did, and here we are at 10%. So let's see where that goes.
Adam, yesterday, roster cut down day, everybody down to 53. Is that one of the busiest days of the year for you, trying to keep up with everything going on and all the players being released?
Well, from an actual numerical standpoint, yes, because you have basically 32 teams making 37 moves. So it's just a huge number of transactions. I still think, the first couple of days of free agency are probably the busiest days, and the draft day is a busy day. But from the quantity involved, the volume involved, yesterday's probably the busiest day on the NFL calendar for everybody because it just goes nonstop with all these teams making moves. Now, again, I mentioned every team cutting down 37 players. 16 players are signed on to practice squad, so 21 are out of work. 21 times 32, you do the math. What is 21 times 32? Let's see right here.
782.
There you go. Okay, 782 players are going to be out of work here. Like, time to move on and
wait. Adam, are you just taking Chewy's word for it that he was able to do the math?
Gabe, just let it go.
Okay, 32. I know it. 672. Good job. That's the point.
That was close.
College education. Yeah, right there.
Adam, by now you should know better. I appreciate the blind faith in the big guy that you're providing, but by now you should know you have got to put
Adam,
through
the backstory is this. Adam, the very first segment we came out, I said, would you rather be street smart or book smart, right? So, and I tell them, I'm 90% street smart, 10% book smart. So for me to come out with that number, that's why Jen and Gabe were like, you got to be kidding me.
We knew that you were kidding us.
We knew it wasn't real. The fact that Adam ran with it, I just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, and did you know that smart is spelled S-M-A-R-T, Chewy? Did you know that, too?
There's no E on the end?
No E. Very good.
Adam, we didn't get to talk to you about the Malik Willis trade. Is there anything there? Did you hear about any of those conversations? Obviously, he has slipped in now, slides into the backup quarterback. The rumor is that they're going to keep Sean Clifford as the practice squad guy. Is there anything that Packers fans need to know about Malik Willis? They hope that he is not in there, obviously, as the backup quarterback, but I think the goal is to have somebody who can win you some games if he's pressed into duty.
Well, here's a guy that's, when he has gotten time in the preseason, he's made some plays, and obviously they feel like they can help him grow and improve as a quarterback. The Titans were more comfortable going with Mason Rudolph, whose style of play I think more closely resembles Will Levis, and I think Malik Willis, probably his style of play, a little bit closer to Jordan Love's than it is Will Levis, and clearly Green Bay. When Malik Willis was coming out, there were people who thought he was a first-round talent. And there were people that identified him as a really strong prospect. And obviously, Green Bay must have had a good grade on him at that point in time to make the trade. And the cost is not very high at all. So they're getting a backup quarterback on the cheap when clearly they didn't believe in the quarterbacks they had as backups for Jordan Love. So they made that move. And, that to me, that was expected. Honestly, I thought that they would be in that market for a quarterback. I thought they'd be in the market for a kicker, and they are, right? We don't know who their kicker is going to be yet, do we?
Well, that's the next thing. I mean, who's potentially out there? I was just kind of scrolling through last night, Adam, after all the cuts were done, and ESPN.com did a great job of having all the guys who were cut for every team. I'm scrolling through last night.
Yep.
The list of kickers out there, I mean, I don't see anybody who would be appreciably better than what they have in Greg Joseph, as he's the one who they kept on the roster.
Yeah. The name that came up the other day to me was Matthew Wright, who was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I didn't see if the Steelers cut him yesterday. I'd have to check. I have the wire with me. But Greg Joseph may be the guy, but it wouldn't shock me if they went out and found another kicker. That wouldn't surprise me either. So I think that could go either way.
Adam, we saw that C.D. Lamb signed a couple of days ago. Do you think a Dak deal is close?
No, I don't. But that doesn't mean that they couldn't get there. Like, last week a C.D. Lamb deal wasn't close, and then it got there. And I think that there will be a push before the start of the season to try to get a Dak deal done. But, if I'm Dak Prescott, I guess it's Dallas. If you want to stay there and the offer's right, then you can go ahead and do it. But the idea of Dak Prescott as a free agent next March, when I can give you a half dozen obvious landing spots, when his price to me would be $60 million minimum, there's something that's intriguing about that, right? So he's got a lot of leverage, being that the Dallas Cowboys can't place the franchise tag on him. So, by the way, Matthew Wright was released yesterday from Pittsburgh. So that's a guy that, again, just I don't want to see the list of kickers out there that Gabe went through, but that's a name that I know was brought up to me earlier over the weekend. We were talking about Packers kickers with Craig Karmazin.
Adam, before we let you go, couldn't help but notice a viral video from NFL Live where it appeared as though you were talking about a certain tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs who may or may not have purchased an engagement ring for a certain international superstar. Would you care to share any details you might have on that situation? I know that it was Laura talking about him not purchasing a ring, and then you said, well, how do you know he hasn't purchased a ring? And you are the guy who knows all the things. So it got my eyebrows up, is all I'm trying to say.
But that's all it was, Jen. It was good fun, right? Because my daughter is going to be 16 years old, and she's a big Swiftie. And there's been all this speculation from people about the fact that there are people out there, I have no idea what's right or wrong, that think that Travis and Taylor already are engaged or married. They think that, right? Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but Laura Rutledge came out of the break and just said, well, we know Travis Kelce hasn't purchased a ring, but he has purchased a horse, and he named it after Taylor Swift. And so all I said was, how do you know that he hasn't purchased a ring? All I do is raise the question, right? And she's like, oh, what do you know? I'm just asking you.
Yes,
how do you know that?
Sure.
Know?
But the big difference here is, Adam, if I say to Laura Rutledge, how do you know he hasn't purchased a ring? People dismiss it because they're like, she doesn't know anything. But you're Adam bleeping Schefter, okay? We feel like you've got the inside track on all of the things. And obviously, this is peripheral NFL because of Travis Kelce. So you got a little more responsibility than, say, I do in that situation, right?
Here's the thing. If Schefter breaks this, if Schefter somehow gets on the inside and breaks the engagement news, that's the biggest story of your career, right?
Honestly, right?
Where does the cost of the ring... Where does the cost of the ring start? So if he goes to the jewelry center, is he saying, yeah, I'm looking at a $7 million ring?
Well, I mean, he's got some extra money laying around after signing a $100 million deal with Amazon for the podcast.
Oof.
I understand that he's debating bringing in 10% private equity ownership on the ring. To see if that needs to be
Can we do that?
Sure, you can do whatever you want.
It's expensive these days. You can't help funding the ring.
What costs?
He needs to vet the private equity firms to make sure that they're approved, and then they can invest up to 10% and the engagement ring that he would purchase for Taylor Swift if he hasn't purchased it already.
You know what's crazy is we're talking about how the pool of people who can afford NFL franchises continues to shrink, right? As the price or the value of these teams goes up and up. You know who could afford to purchase an NFL team?
Yeah.
Likely?
Taylor. Probably a couple of them. Yeah.
All right, Adam, we really appreciate you this morning. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Adam Schefter, brought to us each and every week by the Island Resort and Casino, a premier resort destination, the largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location. Visit islandresortandcasino.com and book your total experience today.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
September baseball is coming, and every Brewers game means even more this time of year. Get to American Family Field as the Crew takes on the Rockies September 6th through the 8th. Get your seats now at Brewers.com.
Phones aren't wired to the wall anymore. We carry them in our pockets. Cars can even drive themselves, right? Technology advances have changed our lives.
That's football legend Emmitt Smith.
Some of the most fascinating advances are happening with the medical professionals at QC Kinetics. I'm talking about natural regenerative treatments for joint pain without surgery or harmful drugs.
Tens of thousands of patients have discovered these breakthroughs firsthand at QC Kinetics. With over 100 board-certified providers across the country, they're transforming the world of pain treatment using your body's own healing properties to help restore your aching joints.
Why would you keep going back to the old tired ways of treating chronic joint pain? Check out the latest advances at QC Kinetics. And here's an idea for you. You can call them on that smartphone right there in your pocket.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman here for Carbless, my go-to drink this summer. Handcrafted right here in Wisconsin, Carbless is a ready-to-drink vodka and tequila cocktail. Perfect for hanging out on the patio by the grill, chilling on the lake, or tailgating at the Brewers game. Plus, it's got 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. All summer, make sure you're following Carbless on Instagram at Drink Carbless for your chance to win a Summer Bliss prize package. Find Carbless online and at retailers near you. Carbless. Less is more.
College students, are you looking to make your campus living more comfortable, functional, and fashionable this year? Let IKEA Oak Creek help. From innovative storage solutions and furniture to maximize your space, to fashionable bedding and accessories to make it uniquely yours, IKEA is helping make college living truly inspired by you. And now, qualified college students can get 15% off their IKEA purchases. Visit IKEA Oak Creek or check out the Ready for College section on IKEA.com/US to learn more.
Protect your new and existing surfaces in and around your home and businesses with one simple call to Showtime Floors. Hey, this is Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. Showtime Floors hooked me up with a sealer on my garage floor, and I absolutely love it. Showtime Floors products are antimicrobial and UV resistant, and you can find them at the baggage claim in Milwaukee's airport, plus a 15-year warranty. Schedule a free demo today at ShowtimeFloors.com and get 10% off your purchase by mentioning ESPN.
Finally, warmer weather, green grass, birds chirping. Don't spend your weekend surrounded by all that junk. Get your free, no obligation, same-day estimate from Two Men and a Junk Truck. You'll restore your sanity and reclaim your space when Two Men and a Junk Truck pulls in your driveway. Visit twomenandajuncktruck.com for your free, no obligation estimate today.
Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
Ever dreamed of teeing off inside American Family Field? Now's your chance with Upper Deck Golf. From November 7th through the 9th, experience a one-of-a-kind round of golf, hitting tee shots from the upper deck throughout the stadium to custom greens below. Enjoy VIP treatment with great music, cold beers, food, and golf challenges at the Clubhouse Festival inside the stadium. Upper Deck is open to all ages, but tee times are limited, so book now. Head to upperdeckgolfing.com to book a tee time today. It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Unbelievable that they ran all over this vaunted defense, this elite defense.
What Kool-Aid?
Why? It was poop Kool-Aid, and we gobbled it down.
On 94.5 ESPN.
I fell for the devil's daughter. I jumped in, yeah, I drank the water. Tell me, doctor, can you fix my brain? 'Cause everyone is
Ryan from Maguanago weighing in saying, when Travis Kelce starts doing commercials for a local jewelry company, I guess we'll know what's coming next. Much like Gabe and our buddy Ashton, when you guys need something for the lady, you work with Dean the dancing machine.
I mean, I'm sure Dean would love to work with Travis.
You think he's getting lab grown?
Can't imagine.
I mean, why not?
More bang for your buck. But he's got all the money.
Sure, but more. I mean, just the reason you keep all that money because you do the smart thing,
Yes,
Jen.
that's
More
right.
bang for your buck with the lab grown.
But seriously, where does it start? $10 million ring?
Oh, God.
I mean, come on.
I think you got to start looking at what some of the other celebrities' rings. Look at her friend group. That's what I would do, right? Look at the Blake Lively's. Look at some of those gals that she pals around with and see what their ring is. Because Travis is going to know.
Well, J-Lo's got one for sale, right?
You think she's just consignmenting her wedding? Well, she's got a lot of them.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know. She feels like she might hold on to
You're
those.
telling me she's not putting those on display? Like you might have your Super Bowl ring on display?
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right now. How much J-Lo engagement ring? The 15-carat ring from Alex Rodriguez was $1 million.
Oh, that's it? Cheap.
How about okay, hold on. Again, she's got several of them, so hold on. The most expensive and rarest ring in J-Lo's collection is a magnificent 8.5-carat blue radiant cut diamond flanked by trapezoid cut diamonds on a platinum band that was given to her by Mark Anthony, worth $6.5 million. You think Travis has got to go up and above 6.5 for Taylor's ring?
Probably.
You said 10. You might not be that far off.
Yeah.
What does a $10 million ring look like?
Do
you even wear it? Do you even wear a $10 million ring?
It looks like this. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
The cup of my mug or my cup, the top of my cup coming in handy.
It becomes so cumbersome. How are you even wearing that and functioning in society?
Right? Look at this.
I hope Travis doesn't snore. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, because when she in the middle of the night.
Yeah, because I had a bruise on my lip, and I'm like, where the hell did that come from?
And you think it was Angie's ring?
Of course it was.
Where else would it come from?
Yeah, I suppose.
Walking into doors.
Fair enough. All right, lots of stuff to get to in the second hour of the show. We do have Sophia Minard. She is going to join us. Going to continue talking about the Packers roster cutdowns and this $500,000 scratch-off ticket. What is the obligation to tip somebody who might have led you directly to that fortune? We'll get into that on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
Earlier accident on northbound 43 at Banter has been cleared out of the way, so that's doing a little bit better. On the southbound side, we are seeing delays from Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. Westbound on 94, backed up from 17th Street out to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound 94, backing up from Maple Avenue all the way to about Highway 16 in Waukesha County. A little bit more right past Barker Road, and then again, riding the brakes from the zoo all the way through the stadium interchange. Northbound on 4394, taking it back all the way to the airport spur through the Mitchell, all the way up to Oklahoma Avenue. We've got delays there. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast. Today, mostly cloudy, cooler, but humid. Isolated showers possible, a high of 78. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 67. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Island invites you to fall into golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. Fall golf rates run September 16th through the end of the 2024 season, with tee time starting at $75 and stay and play packages starting at $110. And submit your 2025 golf package request early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
Jen Latta here from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I have told you about the delicious pizza you can find at Proof Pizza inside St. Kate. Now there's even more to be excited about with new sandwiches on the menu. Available every day from 11 to 4, you can enjoy options like the turkey pesto, the meatball hero, the Italian hoagie, and more. Skip the same old lunch at your desk and grab a delicious sandwich from Proof instead. Order inside the restaurant or directly from the bar at St. Kate. Explore the new sandwiches and the rest of the menu at proofpizzamke.com.
Hi, this is Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. You're listening to ESPN Milwaukee 94.5 WKTI HD.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And these people that toot their horn, and I'm not saying you, but people that toot their horn and, I gave away, $500,000. Let me pat myself on the back here. Like,
you never call me. You hate people.
You just love finding people to not like.
I hate people individually, but I love mankind.
Oh, you do. Okay, so yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, all these people.
Sounds about right.
But we just said before the segment that you don't like hanging out with people either.
Well, that doesn't mean I think they're bad.
We don't know each other that well. You've said 30 insane things to me in the last few minutes. I'm not an everyman. No, you're not an everyman. I'm not an everyman. You are a singular man.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
We continue analyzing the moves that the Packers made yesterday on Cut Down Day. And there's an interesting phenomenon that Joshy, you said you saw on social. That after A.J. Dillon was put on season-ending IR, which we discussed in the first segment of the show, the only member of the 2020 Packers draft class left on the roster, 2020, 4 seasons ago. Remember, the average length of an NFL player's career, I believe, is 3 seasons. So we're talking 4 seasons ago. The only player left from that draft class on the Packers roster is the quarterback, Jordan Love. You could clearly make the argument that at least they nailed the most important one, right? But the other guys, and I'm just reading from this list that Joshy compiled, Dillon DeGuara, Kamal Martin, John Runyon, Jake Hansen. Who's this? Simon? I don't even know who this guy is.
Stefaniak?
Yeah, I didn't even know who that was. Vernon Scott and Jonathan Garvin are all off the team. Is it a good draft if you get one right, even if that one, Gabe, is the quarterback?
Yeah. Yeah, you nailed the most important position. That's a good draft class. You got yourself... that's all that... that's all that matters, man. You nail that one pick. You nailed that one pick of a franchise quarterback. Doesn't matter what the rest of the draft class
What do you give it for a grade?
It's an A.
No, it's not. You're insane. Give me Aaron Rodgers' draft class.
Okay.
Because that'll be...
All right, you ready?
We don't know if we nailed it yet. What's nailing it? Hall of Fame?
He's your guy. I mean, if he ends up being a franchise quarterback, which he already is, you've nailed that draft.
Do you have Aaron Rodgers' draft class? All right, let me hear it.
Aaron Rodgers, Nick Collins, Terrence Murphy, Marvell Underwood, Brady Papinga, Junius Costin, Michael Hawkins, Mike Montgomery, Craig Bragg, Kurt Campbell, and Will Whitaker.
So that's an A+. So you can't give Jordan Love's draft class an A.
Gabe is saying it's weighted. It's weighted because the quarterback position is so important, and as you mentioned, you have to nail it. If you're going to move up in the draft, when you already have a future Hall of Famer on the roster, you got to nail it, right? Okay. And it looks like, again, it's early, small sample size. It looks like they nailed it. So I'm willing to also give it an A, even if all of the other guys. It is though concerning because Chewy, some of this is fluky, right?
I know, some of these guys. Why are we anointing him? Why are we anointing him? He's had 9 great games, or 9 very good games. We can't anoint him. Do I think he's going to be good?
Then we can't grade the draft class. If you're telling
yes, you can.
No, if we don't know what Jordan Love is, then you can't grade the draft class.
I think right now you give it a B-, C+.
No, it's
You can't give Aaron Rodgers a draft class in A because he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, and he has an argument to be one of the top 5 quarterbacks to ever play the game.
Sure, and I could also make the argument, that the Nick Collins on there, the Brady Papinga on there, even Underwood, who was a contributor, those sort of even crank it up a little bit more.
Sure.
So that draft class, even though you could argue that there were only a few contributors outside of the future Hall of Fame quarterback, I don't think anybody's arguing with you that it's an A. Whether it's an A+ or an A-, I suppose is debatable, depending on what you think the hit rate needs to be for a general manager on any given draft year. But this was alarming. This is only 4 years ago, guys.
I know.
Theoretically,
Yes.
some of these guys should have stuck. And John Runyon, obviously.
Runyon could have. I mean, he's still in the league.
He is still in the league. He's somewhere else. That's right.
Yeah, so he's still a good player. But yeah, if you want to go that deep, the 2021 draft class, which would feature guys in the final years of their deal, it's not exactly much better.
But Gabe, what if Aaron, what's his name? No, Jordan Love.
Okay.
What if Jordan Love makes 3 Pro Bowls? Then what's the grade of the draft class?
Makes 3 Pro Bowls?
The more success he has, the more it goes up.
Yeah. But I think he's going to be really good. I think he's going to be, if he ends up being your starting quarterback for the next decade, then the lowest it can be is a B.
Okay. I'll go with you there.
Okay.
And I'm with you. You can't really grade it yet then.
Gabe, I appreciate you bringing up the 2021 draft class because those guys theoretically, again, should still be on the roster. So go ahead and go through that one. There are some misses, but you could argue that, look, with what the Packers did with the defensive backs yesterday even on cutdown day, it makes me feel like they're real confident in Eric Stokes being back out there on the field.
Yeah, he's going to be starting. So Eric Stokes is in that draft class. Josh Myers is in that draft class.
Still on the team.
Amari Rodgers.
Not on the team. Not in
Is
the
he
league.
in football? He's out already?
No, is he in football? He played the UFL. That's technically in football, right?
Can you give Rodgers credit?
Aaron Rodgers? Was Aaron Rodgers right about Amari Rodgers? Yes, Aaron Rodgers was right about Amari Rodgers.
Definitively.
I think that debate's over. Royce Newman was
Just
the
got
fourth-round
cut.
pick.
Just got cut.
Yeah.
T.J. Slayton.
He's okay.
Yeah, he's on the roster.
Yeah.
Shamar John Charles.
Have a great name.
Cole Van Lannon. Isaiah McDuffie. And then Kylan Hill. No longer in the league.
That draft class to me feels, again, depending on what type of production Eric Stokes has this year, that draft class to me feels like a B-.
Who was 1 and 2? Who was 1 and 2?
Stokes and Myers.
Stokes and
Both
Myers.
still on the roster.
They're not bringing Myers back.
Myers, just in case we haven't noticed, Creed Humphrey signed the largest center contract in the history of the NFL. You want to know who was taken 1 pick ahead of him? Josh Myers.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
God, I'd love to be a student in your guys' class. I really would. That 10% would be like 30.
Why?
You guys are easy graders. Huh?
Wait, what would you have given the 2021 draft class?
With Stokes and Myers?
Yeah. And McDuffie. Don't forget McDuffie.
I feel like
C plus, B minus?
I feel like there is.
I just said B minus.
I feel
you
like
did?
Yeah. Because I feel,
Okay.
I lean more towards C+. This is a huge make or break year for that draft class.
Okay.
Because I think there's a real chance that none of them are on the roster next year.
Really?
Well, they're all in the final years of their
I
deal.
like Stokes, though. I like him.
What
If he
is there
stayed-
to like?
Is he great? No.
I don't even
Is
know if
he-
he's good.
Pretty good as a rookie.
I think he's good.
Bad as a second-year guy.
If he can stay healthy, I think.
That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot to
I got to
like.
be honest, too. This is feeling like a Borscht endorsement right now.
I just bought some yesterday. I'm so excited. You know what lunch
I
is
like
today?
him. I don't love him.
You know what lunch is today?
They don't love it. They like it. They don't love it.
Pierogies and dill pickle soup. I am so excited.
Oh, you brought pierogies. I thought you bought borscht. I didn't know anyone was
I
selling
did,
it.
but that's in the freezer. I'm
Where
going
do
to
you
save that
purchase
for.
borscht?
There's a Polish deli around here. Wow. Yeah, want me to bring some back?
I'm good.
Yeah, you can keep it.
Although it melted because it's so hot down here in my buddy's truck who drove me over there. It looks like there was.
Okay. All right. All right. We can stop.
So, given this development, which was noted on social media yesterday about the 2020 draft and how Jordan Love, the franchise quarterback, who is currently the highest paid quarterback in the league, is the only remaining player from that draft, was that a good draft? Gabe is saying yes, emphatically. There's no question it was a good draft because you got the most important position. Chewy is saying, no, you missed on every other one. And to him, that's more important. There's sort of a quantity-quality argument sort of happening here between you guys. And Gabe, I love that you brought up the following year's draft because you are seeing a fallout. This, to me, is always the philosophical question, Chew, of what do you need your hit rate to be for a general manager to consider a draft a good draft? It sounds like it's folded into the cake, it's baked into the cake that you're going to miss. It seems like you're allowed some strikeouts here when it comes to drafting, but how many are you allowed? And does it matter, one, higher rounds? I think it should. And two, more important positions? I think it should. I think those things should be weighted more heavily than the opposite. What do you think, Gabe?
Yeah, you hit the quarterback spot, you're hitting your higher end picks, it makes everything else a little bit easier. And that's why, again, you look at the 2021 draft class, the four guys that are around, Stokes, Myers, Slayton, and McDuffie, two are starters, two are, McDuffie and Slayton probably rotational players at this point. It doesn't feel like it is as impactful as a franchise quarterback.
And this is going to sound crazy, Chew, but are we putting too much emphasis on the draft? Hold on, hear me out. I know the Packers have always been a draft and develop team, right? They do not very often, dalliance in free agency, although they did this past offseason. Are we putting too much emphasis on you have to nail all of your picks because that is the way that you are building your roster when we believe the Packers this year are going to be one of the top teams in the NFC?
I think it changes from round to round. Obviously, you should hit first round picks. You should hit 60%. Is that too low?
I still think it feels like a 50-50 proposition still.
It shouldn't be, though.
But
I don't think it should be. If a GM's worth his salt, the one thing that CYA'd would Ron.
I was about to say Ron's below 50%.
I know.
50% on first
but
round.
But he
picks.
nailed third round. He nailed fourth round. He nailed fifth round. He nailed sixth round. That's how you make a championship team. If you hit every one of your ones and twos, great. There's not enough guys to field the whole team. So if all you're hitting is 1 and 2, you'll be good. You're not going to be great.
The only positions above 50% hit rate in the NFL, and that means signing another contract, are guard, offensive tackle, center. Wide receivers 27%, tight end 33%, safety 34%, running back 38%, cornerback 38%. Defensive tackle 40, and then upwards to 48 is the highest at linebacker.
So what do you think that is, Joshy? Why do you think it is so easy, quote unquote, to nail offensive line? Is there something about the skill set where you can watch a guy in college? Is it because the game is so similar? Like the transition from one league to the next is smaller than at some of the other positions? Like, why do you think teams historically have had the most success at those spots?
I think offensive line is largely body type dependent and really based on athleticism. If you have the feet, you can do the job.
Yeah.
When it comes to a lot of these other positions are often intangibles, and we were talking about intangibles with AJ Dillon. Like, quarterbacks have to be otherworldly. They can have everything you ever wanted that they show like physically, but they just can't figure the game out. I think there's a lot of factors that go into this stuff that isn't like, not to degrade offensive linemen, but it's, are you big and can you move your feet? And that's pretty much.
You know what another weird thing is? Another weird thing is that they look at is arm length. When you think about arm length, and I used to, everyone asks me, like, who's the toughest defender you had to block? And then I say Tony Tolbert, and they're like, who? I'm like, Tony Tolbert of the Dallas Cowboys. You know why he's so hard to block? Because he had longer arms than I did. So if you got good placement, and it's the same with offensive linemen, if you got good placement with your hands and your arms are longer than the guy you're going against, it's like a turtle. The guy defending just can't get leverage because his arms aren't long enough. So that's another thing. And they also look at toughness and work ethic. Like Yash? Yash is out of here because he didn't like the work. And you see so many of those. If you go get a road grader I would take a guy, an offensive lineman with okay feet that bust his ass over a blue chip who has great feet and you don't know if he wants to work.
But
Take
that's
that guy
an
all
inexact
day long.
science, right? The only way that you
It
can
is.
figure that out is basically by
Yeah.
talking to their previous coaches and seeing day
Sure.
in and day out whether they loved the grind or not. You know?
I want Adam Timberman. I want Marco Rivera. I want Mike Wall. I want those type of guys. Not great feet, but you know what? They're going to punch you right in the mouth.
Well, and the grind in the NFL is different than the grind in college, too.
Yeah.
You know, so that transition. So maybe the guy can handle the grind in college, gets to the NFL, can't handle it.
Also, the reason they ask those insane questions, and some of them are inappropriate, like asking Des Bryant if his mother is a prostitute, that's a little far, but they ask those crazy things because they're trying to get into the depths of someone's mind and their character. They're trying to, like, find out something that you can't really... Because, I mean, we all rehearse answers. We go to interviews, and we all basically lie through our teeth and present the best version of ourselves. That's what those guys are doing.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking other interviews?
No. I didn't even really interview here, for being honest.
Sort of
Neither did I.
Just out of curiosity, is it working out for you, or again, maybe it's like the draft; it fluctuates from year to year, day to day. If you love sports betting, you got to make your way to the sportsbook at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. It has everything a sports fanatic could want and more. Get the ultimate experience: a dozen self-service betting kiosks, seating for over 200 people, a broadcast booth, a first-class bar, and of course their new restaurant, The Kitchen. And, by the way, big announcement coming about ESPN Milwaukee and Potawatomi Casino Hotel. It's a new era of sports betting at Potawatomi. Make sure that you get in on the action.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Delays on westbound 94 coming out of the 27th Street area to about Mitchell Boulevard. We've also got westbound 894 slowing down out of the Mitchell interchange towards 68th. Northbound 4394 backed up out of the Mitchell all the way around the Plainfield curve up to Oklahoma Avenue. And then we've also got northbound 794 backing up as well, heading into the Car Ferry area. I think there might be an accident there that's causing some issues. So just be extra careful. Give yourself some extra time. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly cloudy, cooler, but humid. Isolated showers possible with a high of 78. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 67. Weather is brought to you by Showtime Floors. Protect your new or existing surfaces in and around your home or business with a sealer from Showtime Floors. Schedule a demo today at ShowtimeFloors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Jen, Gabe, and Chewy podcast is sponsored by Celsius Energy Drink, and I am here to tell you it makes a huge difference in my mornings. With a unique blend of essential energy and key vitamins, Celsius is your partner to an active lifestyle. My favorite, the Peach Vibe. Learn more at Celsius.com and pick up Celsius Energy Drinks today.
What is dedication?
People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike and you didn't? I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Everybody knows, if it's summer season, it's festival season. And Potawatomi has the winningest one, WinFest. You could make it an awesome August with a share of $500,000. Play with your rewards card for entries. Hourly drawings every Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. $25,000 in cash and prizes each drawing. It's the $500,000 WinFest. Get in on the fun. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. More info at pacebig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Finally, warmer weather, green grass, birds chirping. Don't spend your weekend surrounded by all that junk. Get your free, no obligation, same day estimate from Two Men and a Junk Truck. You'll restore your sanity and reclaim your space when Two Men and a Junk Truck pulls in your driveway. Visit twomenandajuncktruck.com for your free, no obligation estimate today.
Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
You've paid too much for that nice ride. Why put it through a gas station car wash when you can treat it to Tsunami Express instead? At Tsunami Express Car Wash, you can expect nothing but the best with unlimited wash memberships, state-of-the-art wash technology, and powerful free vacuums. Tsunami Express is now open in Midtown Milwaukee at the intersection of Fond du Lac Avenue and Capitol Drive. Get a free car wash only at the Tsunami Express Midtown Milwaukee location August 21st through September 1st. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at TsunamiExpress.com.
Hi,
Hi, it's Haley from the newest Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Oak Creek. Come see me today. Haircuts are just $20. Lady Jane's, Oak Creek on Howell Ave, just south of Putes Road. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week, even Sundays. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
IndyCar returns to the Milwaukee Mile at Wisconsin State Fair Park this Labor Day weekend, August 30th through September 1st. The Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s weekend features NTT IndyCar Series races on both Saturday and Sunday. Don't miss the fun in the free fan zone all weekend long, including live entertainment at the Bank 59 Amphitheater with headliners including Ian Munsick and Quiet Riot. Get your tickets now at wistatefair.com and experience Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s weekend, August 30th through September 1st.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm going to go with the corn dog, the old corn dog. The corn dog for the
pierogies
birthday.
and borscht all day long.
That's just crazy. Nobody likes borscht, let alone
God,
on their
it's
birthday.
so good. It's the only thing that makes my mouth water, other than my wife.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it? No, I ain't happy yet, but I'm way less sad.
Have you guys been to Aria yet, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate, the Arts Hotel? It is and should be your next dinner destination. Nestled on the second floor of St. Kate, it is an artful dining experience that captivates with culinary creativity, delighting in its offering of artisanal American cuisine. Every bite, guys, is a culinary work of art. Learn more and make reservations at Aria at stkate.com. That's Aria at stkate.com.
My bar real low. I'm
Excited to talk to Sophia Minard about those Brewers in just a few moments. But before we get to that, guys, so what is your obligation if you get a scratch-off ticket at a gas station that is a big winner? I'm talking big, big winner. Not like pennies in the pocket, not like coins you'd find in the couch cushions. Fortune. $500,000 in the case of a man who used a $10 scratch-off that he told the clerk to pick out. So follow me here. He walks in, he hands the guy $10, he says, "You pick," to the clerk. Clerk picks a ticket, guy scratches it off, $500,000 winner. Does he owe that clerk anything? Does he owe him a tip? Should he give him a percentage? Or is it every man for himself? Thanks for being a part of my story, but not thank you so much that I'm going to give you some money.
If you're telling him to pick it out, I think you float him, float him $1,000, right?
What if he didn't pick it out?
If he didn't pick it out, then it's every man for himself, right? Like if you go and you pick if you ask someone to pick your Powerball numbers for you, probably owe them a little bit of tip. If you just go, "Hey, I'm taking a Powerball ticket, machine random," he just hands it to you, you pay your $2 and you move on, you win. Nothing. But I think because the acts... Yeah.
Let's ask Joshy. Joshy, let me ask you this, because we talked about it earlier this week or last week. When you're going to have your second beer party, instead of bringing more beer, I said bring a scratch-off lottery ticket. So if Gabe brings you a lottery ticket and you win $500,000, what do you give Gabe?
I would probably give Gabe no less than $2,500.
It's a good little tip.
In that instance. And even, I'm surprised even if I do random and I do 10 tickets, I still probably go back and give that guy some money because I'm winning hundreds of millions of dollars in that case. That person's life has changed from 10 grand, and they were a part of the picture, even though the computer did it. That is important. It is random. But still, wouldn't you feel really good about impacting that person?
But I just think you got to think about when you walk into these gas stations, there is usually a checkerboard of options, right? And so this guy picked your winning ticket. He could have picked any other of the $10 tickets. Maybe there's only 5 or 6 $10 tickets, but he chose that thing. I feel like good person, you got to kick him some coin. You gotta. Like I don't want to carry that karma around, to be perfectly honest with you, for the rest of my days.
But if he walked in and said, "Hey, $10, give me the crossword puzzle."
Different. If he requested the crossword puzzle, then he did the picking, right? And he chose the winning ticket. But once the clerk is responsible for making the choice, I think he's a part of the winnings, and you owe. I'm not saying pay him half, right? But I'm saying just, again, I don't want to carry the karma from stiffing that guy around.
I'd duke him either way.
You're gonna have
Either
to
way, even if
you're gonna have to, because when you
Duking him, tipping him,
or fighting him.
Yeah.
No, I would
Put your
tip him
dukes
either
out.
way.
I got no dukes.
You never heard that term?
No.
No, not in that context.
Wait,
Yeah, you
Duke
guys should
means to tip?
Take care of them. Yeah.
The Duke. Isn't that the signature on the old footballs?
Yeah, that is.
I believe that's John Wayne.
John Wayne.
I think I tip regardless, and maybe it's like gambling karma, like you're insinuating. But even if I am at the casino or playing poker, where the dealer is paid to be there, like if I win a big hand, I'm tossing them a percentage, usually
If,
1 to 5.
If I'm playing blackjack and I go on a hot run before I cash out, you're throwing a couple chips towards the the dealer.
I treat the clerk at the gas station also because I know what it is like to work there. It's just like, that would be great. You know how happy all those people would be with a couple extra grand to take home? And it's not going to matter to you. You just won $500K. What is $2,500 doing to you? I think you have to.
It ticks my wife off when I tip someone a good amount.
Really?
I'm like, it's tithing.
Oh,
You know?
yeah, good. Again, the karma thing.
Yeah, it's tithing. You know what tithing?
That's a
for
religious thing.
non-Catholics, or you're supposed to give a percentage of your salary.
Tidings of great
tidings to you.
So this is interesting conversation as I just returned from Ireland, where there is no tipping. And yet there were places that would recognize you as an American, know that it is an American custom to tip, and then would insinuate that you are welcome to tip should you want to, but it's not mandatory. Well, now you've put it out there in the universe, so maybe we didn't tip 20%, but we would tip 10% on a bill like that. But it was wild going into places and not having the expectation/obligation of tipping. Like, the number that's there is the number you pay. That was kind of nice.
Isn't Ireland a little unique where they're not necessarily, because here obviously the the salary number for service industry people is like $2 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't believe they're living, the wages they're paid there are even that considerably great. It's like, I don't know if they've compensated. It's just tipping culture doesn't really exist there in the same way.
Yes, but
In
you're
Europe,
right. They are
as a
making more
whole.
money.
Yeah.
So, Chu, so let's just go around the horn here. Chu, you would tip the clerk. What amount would you tip the clerk on a $500,000 lotto winner?
$5,000.
Whoa. That's very kind of you, Gabe.
Yeah, I was in the 2,500 with Joshy.
Yeah, I haven't figured out the number of taxes, but it's probably $2,500 to $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is a chunk of change. I'm thinking $1,000. Now you guys are making me feel cheap. Yeah, exactly. But again,
We're not making you feel that way. It just might be a fact.
You just are feeling that way. So you should really reflect on that, Jen, is what you guys are saying. The reason we bring this up is because to this point, the person that won the $500,000 has not kicked back anything to the clerk who allegedly picked out the winning ticket. So we all feel like that is wrong, though, right? We're all in agreement that at some point you should give them a portion of the winnings since they were instrumental in getting those winnings.
Yeah, throw a little back.
Yes, absolutely.
Put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll. I wonder if we are in the minority of thinking that, yes, you kind of, I don't want to say pay it forward. That's not what this is. But to me, it's, I just want a huge chunk of change, mostly because of the ticket that someone else picked out. Karma, I don't think, is going to be kind to you if you stiff that person or if you ignore their role in your fortune. 800-990-3776. We're going to put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll. Are you obligated to tip the clerk a decent amount? See, decent is also so fluid. Very arbitrary. Decent amount? Are you obligated to tip the person who helped you get those winnings? 800-990-3776. Chris weighing in saying it would depend on if this guy was the owner or not. I believe the store gets a percentage of the winnings.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on. I'm not familiar with this. So the owner gets a portion of your winnings, or the owner gets a portion that, like, the lotto has set aside?
The lotto is set aside.
So, like, they get a big, there's a place in Fond du Lac. Is it Fond du Lac, Gabe? Where it's had a few, like, multi-million-dollar
I think you're right.
winners, and they get, I want to say the store is, let's just say it was a $20 million Powerball thing. The store gets like $100,000. Like, it's a crazy amount.
So hold on. Are you more likely to go to that store because they have a track record of
Yes, they do.
Or
I'm never going back.
that's
there.
what I was thinking.
Never.
Lightning doesn't strike twice,
No,
right?
And if it did, it's not 3 times.
That's what I'm thinking. I feel like the more success you have with this, the less future success you're going to have. I think it actually starts to affect your sales. Like, oh, you've had several $1 million winners at this store. The chances of that happening again have got to be even more minute than the chance of you hitting the first time.
Statistically, they would tell us that's bad process by us. That's like gambler brain.
But hold on.
Because it's equally as insignificant every time
Oh,
anywhere.
interesting.
Can I get a
Because
timeout?
especially Powerball, it's just random numbers that a computer's spitting out.
Can I get a timeout?
No.
30
We're
or
all
full.
fans. We're all fans of a team who has the potential to have 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Okay.
Oh, now
that
Jordan
doesn't
Love is a
happen.
potential
Now
Hall of
you
Fame
expect it.
About
you guys-
30 minutes ago, you said, "Why are we crowning him?" And I quote,
And now he's in the Hall of Fame.
I spent a year arguing with people about how the prior 2 occurrences have no bearing on what happens after it. There is not some special football juju out there that prevents you from having 3, 4, 5 in a row. It's
Then why
unlikely.
doesn't it happen? It's never happened before. In the history of football, it's never happened before. Never!
That would indicate to me that there are people in place making good decisions from a organizational standpoint.
No, that's Jesus.
let go and let God. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy because Sophia Minard is standing by to talk about your brew crew. I know there's a lot of intrigue. What, Gabe? What?
It doesn't matter what age you are. Low testosterone can be an issue for any guy. That's where Mentality comes in, a local healthcare facility specifically dedicated to helping men feel and perform at their very best. Look, you could be dealing with low testosterone, not even realize it. You're kind of groggy, tired, just don't feel like yourself, don't have that energy that you had a year or 2 ago. Those could be signs of low testosterone. And you can, again, if whether or not you want to admit it, your career's a competition. You need every edge you can get. And that's where Mentality comes in. If your testosterone levels are low, like mine were, you can reclaim that back with Mentality and their customized testosterone treatment plans. Go to lowtusa.com. Mentality allows treatment to fit into every guy's lifestyle. Learn more about Mentality. lowtusa.com.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got some backups along southbound 43 from just before Hampton all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound 4394 slowing down around the Plainfield curve all the way up to Oklahoma Avenue. Eastbound 94, we got some backups basically from 84th Street all the way through the stadium. The westbound side slow from 35th out to Mitchell Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by Dave & Buster's. Book your fantasy football draft party for a free draft kit, free room rental, free appetizers, and more. Dave & Buster's, your ultimate fantasy football draft experience. Visit dnbparty.com to get started. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly cloudy, cooler but humid. Isolated showers possible, a high of 78. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 67. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Me too.
She absolutely nailed it.
Are you talking about Jenny Sambeline? Yeah, Jenny and her pendant, the music in a mother's heart. Hi, Rick. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Monica. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Jenny.
Jenny, we're going to produce your pendant design as a limited edition collector's item and put a few of them in all of our 8 Kessler stores.
Congratulations, Jenny. Wow, this is huge. Jenny, we expect the music in a mother's heart to sell out very quickly.
We'll also make a few available online.
I designed that pendant from the memory of how my mother made me feel when we'd sing together. How often did that happen? Constantly. We'd sing along with whatever was playing on the radio, or sometimes we would watch a musical on TV and sing along with that.
At just $124, the music in a mother's heart is going to sell out lightning fast.
I'm buying one.
I'm buying one.
I bought the prototype the moment I saw it.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You've heard me talk about the results Mentality has had on my life, but don't just take it from me. Jason has had success too, thanks to Mentality.
My only regret is I didn't do it sooner. Knowing once again I've gotten the treatments done and continuing, it's I do feel, stuff does hurt a little bit more, but I'm 40, in my 40s, and that's going to happen. But again, the energy levels, it is above and beyond. Again, it's I'm back in that age where I'm like, this is amazing.
Get started today at LoTusa.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Protect your new and existing surfaces in and around your home and businesses with one simple call to Showtime Floors. Hey, this is Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. Showtime Floors hooked me up with a sealer on my garage floor, and I absolutely love it. Showtime Floors products are antimicrobial and UV resistant, and you can find them at the baggage claim in Milwaukee's airport, plus a 15-year warranty. Schedule a free demo today at ShowtimeFloors.com and get 10% off your purchase by mentioning ESPN.
From the latest happenings on the diamond.
With the team here the last couple of days, Eric Haas had a big weekend, and pitchers love throwing to him. I mean, he's a great teammate.
To all the insight and expertise on things outside the ballpark.
Some of these deals, and of course the way that the wild card picture is right now, with the narrative is that there might be teams that are both buying and selling.
We only turn to one person. Batter up. It's Sophia Minard on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Brought to you by Two Men in a Junk Truck. From unwanted furniture to full-service residential and commercial cleanouts. Go to twomeninajuncktruck.com to book your free, no-obligation, same-day estimate.
Always great to check in with Sophia Minard, especially as the Brew Crew continue to plug along towards the final month of the season. Lost last night, I saw. I think 5-4 was the final. But still in a very, very good position. Sophia, how are you doing today?
Doing great, yeah. Brewers just keep rolling along, and there's, I think, 32 games left now. So, yeah, definitely getting into the final stretch here.
But who's counting? Jackson Chourio with a big home run last night. And I feel like this is the Jackson Chourio that the Brewers thought they were going to get, as opposed to kind of the challenges he faced earlier this season when they gave him the bag earlier this year. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, look, I think, there was a lot on him after he signed that contract in December, and he struggled the first 2 months. There's no doubt about it. I think he got off to a good start like in April, and then the later part of April and especially May was just really challenging for him. He was getting beat on fastballs. He was chasing. There were some defensive miscues, and these are all things that you would expect, like the unevenness or the up and down of a rookie season from a 20-year-old, right? And I think we all try to keep that in mind from day one of, like, of course, this kid is extremely talented. You don't get a contract like that if you're not, and the Brewers have a lot of faith in him, but he's 20 years old, and he's so young, obviously, but also just young in his professional baseball career. So June, he's been a different player since June. The last 3 months have just been unbelievable production from him. The All-Star break, the way he's played after that, the defense has been better, the at-bats have been better, power, stolen bases, just he's putting it all together, and I think you're seeing all the tools of why the Brewers believe in him so much.
Sophia, with the Central pretty much in hand, how much do the players eyeball the rest of the National League? Because now you have Atlanta in play, you have Arizona in play, and you have San Diego in play along with the Phillies and Dodgers. How much are they eyeballing that?
Yeah, this is a fun time of year, right? Because you're obviously trying to take care of your own business, and we hear from Pat Murphy every day, right? Like win tonight, and that's where their focus is. they put themselves in a great position with that division lead. There's still a lot to play for, however. I mean, obviously nothing is secured yet, and I think they feel they have a really legitimate chance to catch either the Dodgers or the Phillies, get one of the top 2 spots in the National League postseason picture, and then if you do that, you get a bye in the first round, and you can get out of that wild card round, which is what the Brewers got into last year with the Diamondbacks. So, as it stands today, they would be the 3 seed, meaning they would play the 6th, that last team in the wild card picture, and that's where those other teams are grouped up that you're talking about. It's the Diamondbacks, the Padres, the Braves, the Mets are very much in that race as well. The Cubs are kind of still hanging in there. I think they're still 5.5 games out of that spot, so who knows what could happen there, but it's a very tight kind of race for those 3 wild card spots. So I think for the Brewers, it's like their goal is obviously win the division, but also like if you can get one of those top 2 spots, that sets you up really well because then you get almost an all-star break. You get 4 or 5 days off before you begin the division series.
Sophia, Christian Yelich back with the team, spoke for the first time to the media after getting his back surgery. What was your biggest takeaway from the messages he was delivering?
I think what we got from him was just like how optimistic he is about what this means for him moving forward. Look, he's obviously really disappointed that he was having such a great year, right? Going back to the All-Star game for the 3rd time. He's worked really hard to get back to that part of like being the player that he feels like he's capable of. So obviously disappointed that his season is over, but I think just the timing of it, of if this felt inevitable to him, which when we talked to him, if that's what the point it got to, like he really felt like my daily life is being compromised, right? Forget just trying to get on the baseball field and try to be a productive player. So I think this just gives him more time, right? It gives him more runway to go through the rehab, and he's really confident with how he can go through that process. Should be about 3 months for him. That gives him an extended off season. There's maybe not as much of like a rush or urgency for spring training and opening day next year. And he feels like he still has a lot of really good baseball ahead of him. And I think, this is something he's had to manage, obviously, for the last couple of seasons, and that's a lot on you physically and mentally and emotionally to have to manage that every day and what people expect of you every day. So he's very optimistic. I think he's already looking forward to next year and feels like this is something that's going to help him in the long run.
Sophia Minard hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy here talking about your first place brew crew. Are we not giving enough credit to not just the bullpen, which I know a lot of people have talked about how much it has helped the Brewers in their run to success this season, but also the defense of this team? Is that something that you feel like has gone under the radar as far as a big reason why they've had success?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, they talk about that of, they look at it as a run prevention unit. So it's the pitching staff and it's the defense together. And those two, work together all the time. You can look at somebody like Colin Ray. You can look at somebody like even going out and acquiring Aaron Savali or Frankie Montas at the trade deadline of, on paper, they weren't having lights out seasons, but the Brewers felt like with our defense behind you and with our, pitching group and our coaching staff, we can make you better. Of how you use your stuff, of putting the ball in play. We have an elite infield behind you. We feel like, the outfield defense has been incredible too. I mean, Blake Perkins robbing his 4th home run last night. Like, you did end up in a loss, so it didn't have the biggest impact, but still, I mean, the defense that they have is, across the board is really, really good. I think one of the best in the National League. We talk about the infield defense a lot, of having 3 shortstops in your infield with, of course, Willie Adames, Joey Ortiz, a former shortstop, Bryce Terang, a former shortstop. I think those groups are very much responsible for kind of where they've gotten to. This pitching staff, if you're pitching to contact, you need the defense to make the plays behind you.
So, Sophia, we love doing power rankings on Tuesday during the NFL season, and we very rarely agree with the list. So I just want to read you the top 8 from ESPN. So 1 is the Dodgers, 2 are the Yankees, 3 Phillies, 4 Baltimore, 5 Brewers, 6 Cleveland, 7 San Diego, 8 Arizona. Would you agree with that? Where the Brewers are placed?
So it was Dodgers, Yankees, Phillies.
Phillies, Orioles, Brewers.
Orioles, that's right. Okay. Yeah, that feels probably fair. I mean, I think,
They're better than the Orioles?
To me, I think honestly in the National League that the Dodgers and the Phillies are pretty interchangeable. Both of those teams, I mean, they have stacked lineups, really good pitching staffs. I would actually say the Phillies probably have a better pitching staff than the Dodgers. The Dodgers have had just as many injuries as the Brewers, and their depth has been tested, where the Phillies, they just got Ranger Suarez back. They've got Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola and Christopher Dominguez. I mean, they've got a really good bullpen as well. I would say the Phillies might actually have the edge with their pitching staff. And then in the American League, I do think the Yankees and the Orioles are the two best teams in that league. Just saw the Guardians on the last homestand. They've been really good, but they're now kind of neck and neck with the Royals in their division. So I think Orioles and Yankees have kind of been beating up on each other in the AL East. But yeah, that probably feels fair. I think of kind of how top heavy that is. Yeah.
Well, and if you look at the Brewers' schedule in the last month of the season, they're going to play a number of these teams who are in the playoff picture, right? They got Arizona there. You mentioned the Orioles. They do not have the Orioles, no. But I'm looking at the standings. Yeah. They play the Phillies again. They play Arizona. Yeah. The Cardinals are out of it, so that's not a situation. But there are teams that are going to be trying to make hay late to either punch their ticket in the postseason or to change their own positioning in the postseason. So it's going to be a very exciting final month of the year.
No, absolutely. And I think that Philly series is going to be a huge series, again, just because they got swept in Philly in June, ran into their aces. And it was a really good series. They played well. They just ran into really good pitching. So they're going to have that's going to be a monster series coming up in the middle of September. Those 3 games with the Phillies, if they want to try to catch them, again, for one of those top 2 spots. Intriguing, right? Like the Arizona matchup, because Arizona has been one of the best teams coming out of the All-Star break. It's been Dodgers, D-backs, and Padres. It feels like they're winning every night. And again, they're kind of jockeying for position at the top of the National League West, and also just kind of a schedule oddity that you'll play the Diamondbacks 7 times essentially within 2 weeks. We just haven't seen that team yet. And then they're going to finish at home against the Mets. And the Mets are one of those teams that is currently in the wild card picture, bumped up with the Braves, the Mets, Padres. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot to play for in terms of obviously securing the division and then just, teams that are in it and meaningful series. And, yeah, so I feel like just like every year, this is going to obviously you feel like, all right, they're in a good spot, and somehow this will end up going down to the end, whether it's for seeding or matchups or anything. But that's what makes it fun.
Who are some names that we could potentially see come up with the roster expanding September 1st? Some familiar guys coming up from AAA?
Yeah. So this has been a couple years now where the rosters go from 26 to 28. However, you can only add 1 pitcher and 1 position player instead of the old days when you could essentially bring up your entire 40-man roster, right? And then you get into really long bullpen games. But anyway, I think it's actually been a good rule. So you get an extra, most go with another reliever and then an extra bench player. Here's the thing. It's so you've got Hobie Milner coming back off of the injured list soon. I think they feel pretty good about the health with their pitching staff right now. You've got some intriguing, they brought Aaron Ashby up. He pitched really well Sunday, 2 innings, another lefty option. He looks healthy and strong. He looked really good. Elvis Peguero was optioned to AAA Nashville. He could be an option. And then, of course, Jacob Mizorowski, who is the top prospect in the organization. This is a player that people are really excited about. He started his season in AA. He's been in AAA for probably about a month now. And he is just lights out in AAA right now. So that's going to be an intriguing decision of what they do with Mizorowski. There's another top prospect, Craig Yoho, who's also pitching really, really well in AAA. And then position player-wise, I think they're carrying 3 catchers right now. They've gotten away with this for a while. Tyler Black, kind of who's been up and down. He could be another good option, a lefty off the bench, another rookie. So, yeah, there's that will be coming up September 1st. I think that's Sunday. They've got a doubleheader coming up Friday, so they'll get an extra player for that against the Reds. So, yeah, there's gonna be some fun decisions coming up. And then even outside of the organization, if they claim anybody or anything comes up on waivers, those players have to be added to the 40-man roster by the end of August as well for them to be eligible for the postseason.
I had a worlds colliding moment in Ireland this past week. Stay with me, folks. Jim Phillips is the ACC commissioner. He has spent time, I believe, at Northwestern and certainly at Notre Dame. And we were talking about me being here in Milwaukee and having the show. And he said, I was born in Northern Illinois. I'm a Winnetka guy, so I was always a Cubs fan. He said, but Pat Murphy is my guy. He was my guy at Notre Dame. And he said, so my allegiance has switched this year specifically to the Brewers because Pat Murphy now is the guy. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's fantastic. The team has really taken to him. They've responded to his style of coaching. And he said, so he is amongst the Brewers fans, Sophia, who hope that the Brew Crew can go all the way this year. So a little college football space, ACC connecting with the Brewers over in Ireland, just the way you draw it up.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all because it feels like with Pat Murphy, it's not even like 6 degrees, it's like 2 degrees. It's like somehow Murph just knows everyone. So it's like not even remotely surprising to me, Jen, that like you're in Dublin and you're running around doing game day and Pat Murphy comes up. Like that is so on brand.
It was wild. Sophia, we appreciate you so much. Have a great day at the ballpark. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks. Have a great day.
If you missed any of Sophia's appearance, you can, of course, catch it on Wisconsin On Demand, wherever you get your podcasts. You guys have heard me talk about Professional Construction Inc. over the years. We've enjoyed having them help us with our home projects. PCI is a great team, partially because they believe in building relationships in the community, but also because they believe in doing exceptional work. We want to congratulate PCI for celebrating their 20th anniversary this summer. And if you find yourself in a situation where you need a home remodeling project done, I cannot endorse them enough. Go to their website, professionalconstructioninc.com. There you can see some of the jobs they have done. See what might work for you and your family. Again, professionalconstructioninc.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer with the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
For your next night out, make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate the Arts Hotel, your dinner destination. Aria, nestled on the second floor of St. Kate, is an artful dining experience that captivates with its culinary creativity. Delighting in its offering of artisanal American cuisine, the restaurant transcends tradition and leans into the realm of playful and inventive flavors. Come and experience the magic of Aria, where every bite is a work of culinary artistry. Learn more and make reservations at aria@stkate.com.
IndyCar returns to the Milwaukee Mile at Wisconsin State Fair Park this Labor Day weekend, August 30th through September 1st. The Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s weekend features NTT IndyCar Series races on both Saturday and Sunday. Don't miss the fun in the free fan zone all weekend long, including live entertainment at the Bank 59 Amphitheater with headliners including Ian Munsick and Quiet Riot. Get your tickets now at wistatefair.com and experience Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s weekend, August 30th through September 1st.
Summer may be slowing down, but the deals at Vivid Seats haven't. Whether it's scoring MLB tickets for a night at the ballpark or locking down the biggest matchups for the upcoming football season, Vivid Seats has you covered. With the only rewards program in the game, plus an amazing selection of tickets, Vivid Seats has something for every fan. Catch the deals you want for the games you crave, all backed by a 100% buyer guarantee. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
63. What's that?
The number of yards they gave up on the ground against the Philadelphia
It's a
Eagles.
Bible verse, John 3:63. Look it up. Tell us what it
I
says.
thought it was Joe 363, and it was "Thou shalt not get past me on the line of scrimmage."
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
In my line of work, transportation is incredibly important, going to and from all of the places. And when I need a ride to the airport, whether it's Milwaukee or Chicago, I rely on Accutrans. They're a veteran-owned business dedicated to providing unmatched corporate, personal, and event-related transportation that you will use again and again. Visit their website at accutransgroup.com to get a quote or book a reservation today. I cannot stress enough, guys. You got homecoming coming up in just a few months. You're going to want to book your travel for your kiddos so you don't have to drive them all around town. Accutrans is the group that you can count on. It's accutransgroup.com.
Metronome. Man, I'm up to something.
Was that a belch?
Yeah,
Sure
Not my fault.
Correct.
Not my fault.
I got in Josh's here immediately said, that's on you. You should know better at this point.
He did not give me a mic's on. Josh, am I right?
I 1,000% told you your mic was on.
Yeah, but
I even warned you Jen was going to be doing a live read.
Well,
Yeah,
I
you
remember that.
You shouldn't turn on his mic until Jen's done with the live read. That's on you.
No.
Hold on.
can't burp.
It's not technically a belch if you don't open your mouth.
Also just, okay.
I heard it loud and clear.
I never opened my mouth.
I had your back, buddy.
Until?
Had your back.
Until what?
The mouth.
Until you tried to change the definition of a verb.
It's very fair. One check of the polls. People disagree on this wholeheartedly. What would you grade the Green Bay Packers 2020 draft with only Jordan Love remaining on the roster? 31% of people saying a B, 31% of people saying a C, 20% of people giving it the A that Gabe gave it for having the franchise quarterback in it, and 16% of people giving it a D.
Ooh, wow.
What an interesting conversation to continue. Perhaps they will touch on it on Wilde and Tausch right after this.
Your delays along 894 westbound continue from 27th Street all the way to 68 through that construction zone. Southbound 43 backing up from Hampton.